Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Zach.
Hey guys, it's Kyle.
What's going on?
Yeah. Well, Zach, I'm gonna tell you, it was a loss again. It was against the Broncos, a divisional game. This is kind of a game I definitely would wanted because it was a divisional game. We would have been
Yeah,
3-0 in our division, but in my view, I think the Chargers got outplayed by the Broncos.
yep. Outcoached, outplayed.
Mhm.
I just couldn't believe when that first touchdown from Williams up the middle.
Mhm.
I just couldn't believe that I just saw one linebacker there.
Yeah, that was basically everything on the line was just shut down. It was surprising to see how we didn't have a lot of support. I mean, I think the Broncos did a great job. I mean, Melvin Gordon was averaging 4.9 per carry, and after 17 attempts, and Javonte Williams was doing 3.9. Both running backs looked really good. Even Teddy Bridgewater actually got a rushing touchdown in. And they just went to our weak point, which is our against the run. I know we're still pretty bad, and we done pretty well the last couple of weeks, but it was definitely felt as though the Broncos had life because of the run game. They didn't really have to rely on somebody like Drew Lock to pass the ball, even Teddy Bridgewater as well. They had that game locked in, the running game. And
I know he only completed 11 passes.
That's pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts. But I just think for me, defensively, I got to give them props. Their defensive line was amazing. I think one of the things I was most impressed by is that they were rushing 4, and I saw the Chargers line break down, and they were putting so much pressure among 4 defensive linemen. But I looked at the coverage. They had every single zone coverage covered between linebackers, cornerbacks, and safeties. I was like, wow, that is pretty impressive defense. Herbert couldn't throw anywhere, and not only that, he was definitely getting. It was difficult to deal with the defensive line. They were putting so much pressure on him. I mean, definitely it was just a challenge to kind of find the right pass to anyone. Yeah. So, props to them. I think they definitely disrupted our line, especially I think even just losing some our left guard. That was actually really, really difficult to lose Filer from the Steelers. And I definitely felt like a battered up offensive line today, just the other day.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I saw that our left guard was out, Matt Filer, I was like, oh, dude. And they just got Bradley Chubb back. I was like, dude, we are screwed. And I was just very, very worried. And this game is basically how the Chargers O-line basically allowed the most pressure in any single game this against the Broncos. We just allowed the most pressure out of every game that we played. And our left guard was getting destroyed, and probably our right guard too. Just hard to tell because it was just hard to watch. The O-line just looked like the opposite of what it looked like in game 1 and 2.
Yeah, and what was interesting about this is that, I mean, the whole entire game was hard to watch. Like, among the first half, I always had hope. I was watching this game and I was like, he was getting in trouble. They were doing some punts here, but the offense wasn't going. But I thought there was definitely still a chance because they put up 14 points, I think, in the first half before scoring, I think, close to the end of the half in the beginning. And I was like, you know what? They get the ball in the second half. We have a chance to come back. We just need to get our offensive going. Right. But throughout the entire game, the offense just couldn't be there. I mean, for me, I looked at the Broncos offense, and they didn't even look that great. Teddy Bridgewater was hurt. He ended up having to do a rushing touchdown earlier, but he was hurt throughout the game. They used Drew Lock, and he wasn't doing that great either. And so I felt as though we had a chance. It was like blood in the water against that team. And unfortunately for me, I felt that basically the Chargers barely had any time on offense. Like, for me, it's like every time I see them on offense, it definitely like raises my blood pressure a little bit because I feel like just stay on the field, just get the ball going, stay on the field, take time of possession. And it was just hard to watch, especially with that defensive line. Everything on defense was just clicking with the Broncos.
Yeah. Well, the best player on the field was Darwin James. He was the one who almost single-handedly like changed the game, or could have changed the game for us with that interception, that unbelievable interception against Drew Lock. That's what I was waiting for.
Amazing interception. That was a low pass. Honestly, for me, I thought that pass was actually like thrown to the ground, like he was throwing it away.
Yeah, me too.
Darwin James was like, "Nope, I got this." So
that's what I was waiting for. As soon as Drew Lock entered the game, I was like, "Oh, let's see if he throws a pick." Sure enough, I mean, I don't know if it was a bad pass. Might have been. I don't freaking know, but just because it was overshadowed by the interception that Derwin did.
It didn't even look like it was
covered so much ground. Yeah,
it didn't look like a catchable ball for any team, like for both the Chargers and the Broncos. And I was like, oh wow, Darwin James showed his athleticism with that catch by leaping forward. So yeah, I agree with you. For me, it's like if I want to consider a Chargers a good team, definitely moving forward and definitely getting a playoff chance, we need to not rely on our defense too much. I mean, I felt as though they were out there on the field. I mean, they made some great plays, but of course they're going to get scored on. You can't stop the Broncos the entire game, but the offense, needs to stay out there a lot longer than they should have. I think they ended up having a touchdown, before the second half. But then when you got to the third quarter, I thought offense was going, it didn't go. Hopkins missed a few field goals. I saw one where it kind of looked like a disc-shaped throw and catch.
Yeah.
To the field goal, and it was just like, man, I mean, I thought we were trying to get a good kicker to put some points on the board, to get close, but it just wasn't working out. Maybe we probably shouldn't have gotten rid of our kickers, to be quite honest.
I mean, no, it's honestly a freaking curse. I mean, what's his name? Michael Badgley is perfect for the damn Colts, isn't he?
He is. I think he's been 9 for 9 as of lately, and maybe just the way we're preparing these kickers right now, I think it's a challenge for the Chargers. I mean, I do like Hopkins as a kicker personally, but of course, a 53 is a challenge of in itself. I mean, I just wish it wasn't a disc-shaped kick to the. It looked like it was definitely going to go out no matter what. Like once it goes, instead of rotating vertically like a kick normally would, it was rotating horizontally, and I was like, well, it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. And I mean, those points were kind of important, but man, I wish that we definitely had a chance to kind of get more catches to the end zone. So yeah, I think throughout the entire game, I was already difficult to watch in the first half. By the second half, it was even more of a challenge, I gotta say, because they just didn't show up to crawl back into this game. They could have. Well,
the turning point was Austin Eckler. Herbert did throw it like a little over Eckler.
Oh man!
And it kind of hit Eckler's hand. But I don't know. I just felt like even Eckler himself said you got to come down with it.
He needs to. I mean, I think even the commentators were saying that pass to Eckler was definitely an important grab, but I mean,
yeah. As soon as that happened, I was like, okay, game over. That's we could have there was a chance we could have came back.
Yeah.
But until that happened, I was like, it's just not our day. Nothing was going our way.
It wasn't
at all.
I would say as well too when they were. I just feel like the Chargers definitely have some drop passes. I mean, among all receivers that we have eligible. I mean, there's just so many drops. Mike Williams, I think the week before as well too. It's just it's for me. It's like locking that in. I think is kind of important. It was unfortunate. I think that for Eckler, when you did mention Eckler, I think that even happened to him, I think last week as well. Just being able to come down with that catch and being able to kind of hit that down. It's definitely hard to kind of see like we can definitely get that catch. I think that was definitely the turning point. I think it was already hard to watch after that point because we still had a chance, but it just wasn't. They just couldn't. get it going. Just seeing that pass, and I just thought for me, it's like it feels like there's less than like a few percent chance to actually winning this game and coming back anymore. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy throw that Herbert did to Jared Cook, running away from the linemen that were coming after him, and he threw it to the back of the end zone, and Jared Cook did a contested catch. That was kind of insane play.
Yeah. Well, that was a great play for Cook.
Yeah.
And I was glad that he's actually getting some catches in, getting some touchdown.
I couldn't believe he caught that. Well, like had all these drops the rest of the season.
I mean, to be quite honest, I wish that they could definitely use more of these tight ends a little bit more. Parham, I'm not sure how much catches he had this game, but
just one
catch. I just would like to use. I mean, look how long these that tight end is. Like, I wish we could definitely use our weapons a lot more in that game. But it was good to have Old Reliable with Keenan Allen. I felt like he was doing so well, getting a lot of good catches. He was open here and there, and he's probably one of the best route runners, probably between like a lot of teams in the NFL. Like, he's probably one of the best route runners that's out there.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm hoping that we can get that support. I mean, our offensive line definitely played a factor in Herbert's gameplay, but yeah, just locking it in.
Honestly, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Good. I was going to talk about another play, but just keep going on what I was saying.
No. Mine is kind of off topic, so maybe you can talk about the play you're going to talk about.
I think another play that I think it was definitely difficult to even watch as well too was the Herbert interception in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's like we definitely had a chance to get points on the board. At least, I think we were saying like we're down by a couple, and we definitely had a chance to get back into this game. But just seeing that interception being thrown, at least getting locked in for a field goal. Oh man, I definitely he's a young QB, and it was definitely a challenge right there. But man, I don't know if it was a little bit of impatience or just trying to squeeze the ball in there, but I guess he didn't see the under coverage between. I think it was a pass to Cook, right in the end zone.
I don't know who was to, honestly.
I just remember there was a pass in, but he just didn't see the underneath coverage on the side, and it was an easy catch in the end zone. So I think it was Cook that he was trying to pass to, but that for me, like, I definitely think it was around the third down. It was pretty long. So for me, I would have been fine with just the points and stay within contention of the game. But having that pass on third down was just killer. I'd rather have an incompletion or at least a safe throw and just getting those points on the board. So I think that was just another play that I also thought was detrimental for the Chargers as well.
Yeah. I mean, our O-line was terrible, and this is what happens when the quarterback is getting pressured 11 plus times and not having a lot of time to throw,
And I think a lot of the difficulty that I also saw in this game too is that not only with the Denver Broncos line, it was different from the Steelers game, because even though they were kind of putting pressure on Herbert, he was able to kind of get out in open space. He got, I think, maybe around 90 yards rushing last week.
Yeah,
and it was great to see them but the Broncos would just not give him the space in order for him to get that run. I mean, I was like, okay, he has that space open. I mean, the defensive lineman kind of just jumped towards his ankle or knee, and I was like, dang, that was a stop right there. And for me, it's like they plugged in everything. I think they definitely plugged in not only like the zone coverage and the defensive line, but just even getting Herbert loose to actually he was able to get a lot of third and long, a lot of plays that he probably wouldn't have gotten a first down in, but they stopped him. And that was hard to watch as well too, like the finding that open space. I'm glad he's using his legs a little bit more. I know that we were kind of missing that the last couple weeks before the Steelers game, but we just couldn't even get the run going with Herbert. I wish that we could definitely use him a little bit more, but man, I would say for me, they are a team to beat on defense. That is a really good defensive team.
Yeah, they shut out Cowboys. I mean, not shut them out, but I mean, like, just like nobody expected the Cowboys to lose to the damn Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting with the Cowboys too. They're a good team, but just like in the last couple of weeks, they've lost to both the Broncos and the Raiders.
Yeah.
So I think for us, when I think about the division, it's a tight division in the AFC West. It's a tight division, and so I guess for me, I even wonder as well for the Chargers. Are they gonna have an itch or an urge to kind of know that this season's on the line? Are they going to be able to close out games? Are they going to be able to toughen out and, make the plays they need to get that win? Win down the stretch. So, I mean, we do have somewhat of an okay games coming up the next couple weeks, but then we also have some challenging games. For me personally, I'm afraid to actually see the Bengals next week. And then I'm not even sure if I'm looking forward to seeing the Chiefs. That would be a hard matchup again. But we do have some easier games. The Texans coming up. We do have the Giants coming up as well too. And we do have a chance to get revenge on the Broncos, and we have the Raiders as well too. So there are some positive games that I do see in the next coming weeks. But we just need to kind of see what the Chargers are going to do in order for us to possibly make playoffs and get that wild card spot. I mean, it's a tight race, but they do have a chance. I just hope that they can definitely stay healthy as much as they, especially on the line, both the offensive and defensive line, because we need them. And we definitely need them both to protect Herbert, and we also need them to kind of get that stops. I honestly felt as though that our defense played really well today, especially with Darwin James. I think our defense played pretty solid. They just couldn't stop them. I mean, personally, besides the interceptions that happened for a touchdown, they gave up probably only 3 touchdowns. It was just hard against the run that they're still being challenged by.
Yeah, so, maybe not having Linval Joseph kind of played a factor,
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see how they do against the Bengals. I mean, there was even some talk among the Charger community, like that game should be flexed to Sunday Night Football rather than whatever the hell else they got going. But Burrow versus Herbert is going to be that's a potential, great rivalry in the AFC.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hopefully we get Matt Filer back, because that'll make a hell of a lot of difference on our left side, because our left side is pretty damn solid.
That'd be great if there is somehow, some way we can actually have Bulata come back. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's still on the IR list.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be great to have more protection also on the right side as well too, especially losing Aboshi.
Yeah.
Back a few weeks ago. So yeah, I mean, when I saw them the first weekend against like the Washington football team, against Chase
and the Cowboys,
and even against the Cowboys, that line looked really awesome.
Yeah, man.
And now, it's definitely doesn't seem as though it's the same way. I mean, that's what happens mid-season end. So
it's football, it's not a forgiving sport.
It's not. I mean, look at all the injuries among running backs this year. I think Dalvin Cook just got hurt.
McCaffrey's out. Derrick Henry's out.
Alvin Kamara's been out as well too. So it's just a very unpredictable sport.
All the Ravens running backs are out.
Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
I mean, relying on veterans such as Devonta Freeman. Even I think Latavius Murray got hurt too. So.
Yeah. But it is what it is. We'll see how the Chargers do. We shall see.
Yeah, so we'll see. The Bengals matchup, I'm gonna watch it, but man, that's a hard matchup right now. I mean, in order for us to somewhat make playoffs and be somewhat okay, is to probably go 9-8 and go 3 for 3 in the next couple games, because we're technically 6-5, and go 9-8. But that's still a long shot, especially amongst the AFC conference. I would rather feel more comfortable if we took four games of the next 6, go 4-2 the next couple games, and just go 10 for 7. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, Bengals are a hard matchup. The Chiefs are always a hard matchup. It looks like they're ready to take this AFC West title, but we just got to keep fighting. We just got to keep going.
Yeah. Yep, we shall see how the rest of the season goes. We'll see how the matchup against the Bengals goes. I'm very worried, like you said. I just don't want it to be a shutout. I want us to at least compete, you know?
Yeah. Mixon has been doing so well in the running game.
And Joe Burrow.
And Joe Burrow looks good. And Chase Young has been looking pretty well along with T. Higgins on the receiving end. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely know that our defense is gonna be there to step up. I'm kind of more concerned with how our offense decides to work on the field.
Right.
Can they take time of possession? Can they use all its tools? I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most, because I feel like we need them out there a lot more.
Right.
And I just feel as though it just weakened our, as I said before, having our defense out there too long is not good.
Right. So. All right. Well, any last thoughts?
I'm just looking forward to the season. Still hopeful, but I just want to see how they're going to choose to respond, especially with the next couple weeks matchup. Right now, it's around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left in the season. So we still have December and a little bit of January. Let's see what we can do.
Let's see. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoy next week's NFL action all around the league, and hope you guys have a good one. My name is Zach.
And I'm Kyle. Hope you enjoy the games, whichever one you're watching.
Yes, sir.